way back when my less healthy self read a study about lion's mane when I was so focused on healing my brain. And what I had seen on an MRI was not going to be future me.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Eversio Experience podcast. I'm Dr. Desiree Caruso, naturopathic physician, and I'm joined with my co-host, Brandi Garden, the co-founder of Eversio Wellness.
Today's episode is such an important one. Oh, I love it when we get nerdy and we are holding nothing back because we're finally breaking down something that confuses almost everyone when they first get into functional mushrooms.
Today is all about mushroom math. We're going to talk about quantity crude equivalent, extraction ratios, therapeutic dosing, and how to actually compare the price per actual dose so you don't waste money on underpowered products.
Yes, this is a gift to our sweet friend Lori, who, if you have ever emailed Eversio Wellness or you have phoned HQ, you have probably talked to Lori in our office, who spends much of her day talking about mushroom math. So we're going to be sharing our screen through these math sections so that you can follow along visually, which means if you are listening to this episode and you're not seeing what's happening, you are going to have to make a little mind movie for yourself. You're going to have to visualize. If you are watching this episode, you're watching the video, you're on YouTube, or you're watching the video on Spotify, you're going to see us go through this. And Lori, you're welcome, because I think this is going to help so many people. Such a high value, super practical, and honestly, it's kind of fun once you get it episode.
Totally. Okay, let's start with the why. The mushroom market has exploded. It's continuing to explode with all of these products that have functional mushrooms in them, and that's exciting. But with that comes a lot of confusion. You will see bottles that might say 500 milligrams per capsule, and you think you're getting potency. Okay, 500 milligrams is a decent dose. But without knowing the extraction ratio, you genuinely have no idea how much actual mushroom is inside. And what ends up happening is people will buy the cheaper looking bottle. They might not feel anything, and then they assume that mushrooms don't work, when in reality, they were just never getting a therapeutic dose. And that's so common. We hear this all the time. Mushrooms just don't work for me.
Exactly. And it's so frustrating because we want everyone to feel as great as we feel. And two products can have that same capsule count. So 60 capsules in this one, 60 capsules in this one, or similar milligrams, 500 milligrams, 500 milligrams, but deliver completely different results. This is why we created our company. For example, one might give you 1,000 milligrams QCE, or quantity crude equivalent. So we're going to talk about that all throughout this episode. So when you hear us say QCE, we're saying quantity crude equivalent, and we'll explain to you what that means. While another one might give you 3,750 milligrams quantity crude equivalent, but the capsules actually look the same when you put them on your counter or beside each other. And we get why that's confusing. So it's our goal in this episode to help you decode those labels, to understand QCE, and to calculate value so that you can feel confident choosing what's truly effective. And that's the name of the game. We want efficacy, efficiency. We want you to take it and we want you to experience a benefit.
Totally. Okay. First, let's define QCE the simple way. So QCE tells you how much actual dried mushroom your extract is equivalent to. So if you hear 15:1 extract or 15:1 extract, that means that 15 kilograms of dried mushrooms became 1 kilogram of mushroom extract.
Exactly. Okay, so let me walk you through some math on the screen here. So if you have a capsule that has 250 milligrams of a 15:1 extract, this is our reishi product, you would multiply the actual weight, so that's 250 milligrams, times 15, the extraction ratio. So in this case, 250 times 15 is 3,750 milligrams QCE, which is 3.75 grams of dried mushrooms. And it's well known in the mushroom industry that anything over 3 grams or 3,000 milligrams is considered a therapeutic dose.
And I really love the orange juice analogy to really break it down and solidify it. So if you squeeze 15 oranges into one tiny cup of orange juice concentrate, you are still getting the nutrients of all 15 oranges, but you're getting it in a small cup of orange juice because it's the concentrate. That's exactly what QCE is telling you.
Yes, and here's the beauty. Who wants to eat 15 oranges in the
Yeah.
morning in order to get all of the benefits? We all know that oranges have benefits. We all know that there's something inside of them. It's vitamin C. There's so much else too, but that we want to get out of that. And if you're squeezing them down and concentrating and taking it in a small dose, it's because that feels doable, right? It doesn't make sense for us to eat 15 oranges, but people can make sense of getting all the benefits that were in them in that cup. So extraction ratio is really where potency lives. So a 500 milligram capsule in a 2-to-1 extract isn't the same as a 250 milligram at a 15-to-1 extraction ratio. So let's compare those two. So if I have a 500 milligram capsule and it's a 2-to-1, I have to go 500 times 2 is 1,000. So now I have 1,000 milligrams QCE. In the other capsule that might have visually looked like it had less because this one only has 250 milligrams of actual product at a 15-to-1, multiplying 250 times 15 gives me 3,750 milligrams QCE. This is a huge difference. And then we can go into looking at Health Canada's maximum acceptable daily doses. So this isn't your required dose, it's just the safe upper limit. So when Health Canada decided to accept mushrooms as natural health products in Canada, they created a mushroom monograph. And inside that, they show you how much the maximum amount we're allowed to offer people in a day for every mushroom that we offer. And this is how we formulated our products. And there's such a huge variance. So let's look at the slide. Chaga is the mushroom that has the lowest maximum acceptable dose, and it's 3,600 milligrams of chaga per day is all you can have. That's why we only say one capsule is your dose on the side of our chaga product, because in that one capsule, you're getting that much. And it goes up from there. For maitake, you can have 7,000 milligrams a day. Cordyceps is 9,000. Tremula is 9,000. Getting to lion's mane, because the research supports it, you could have up to 12,000 milligrams of lion's mane in a day. Reishi even higher at 15,000 milligrams a day. Shiitake is safe at 16,000 milligrams a day. And this one always gets me. And I think this is the mushroom that's used most medically, we would consider. Health Canada supports the literature that shows that you can take up to 27,000 milligrams of turkey tail in a day safely. So when we went to create our products, we had to do a lot of mushroom math to decide how do we get people a therapeutic dose and not give them too much, not anything above Health Canada's acceptable dose.
And the point is, you don't need to take near the max acceptable dose. Anything around 3,000 milligrams is considered therapeutic in the literature. But what you do need to know is how much your capsule is actually giving you to make sure that you are in the beneficial zone. So let's look at the quantity crude equivalent values, or QCE values, for our capsules, because this is where things get exciting. We have many people who want to take many of the capsules. So for each of our capsule product, I'm going to share what one capsule of each delivers. So for chaga, one capsule is 3,600 milligrams quantity crude equivalent. Maitake, one capsule delivers 3,200 milligrams quantity crude equivalent. Cordyceps, one capsule delivers 4,000 milligrams quantity crude equivalent. Lion's mane, one capsule is 4,000 milligrams quantity crude equivalent. Reishi, 3,750 milligrams quantity crude equivalent. And turkey tail, 6,000 milligrams quantity crude equivalent for each capsule.
And that is why so many of our customers feel results without needing to take 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 capsules a day, right? They're finally getting therapeutic amounts conveniently. It's
Mhm.
fine to say a product can offer a therapeutic dose, but you have to take 6 of them. To me, that's not convenient, especially if I want to start taking more than one mushroom, right? Who
Mhm.
wants to have, palming down an entire mitt full of mushrooms every day to get the benefits that you want? So I love looking at it this way, what you're getting in one capsule. And I want to say, like Dr. Desiree said, this is enough. This is a therapeutic dose if you're using mushrooms like I do as preventative medicine. The reason you might take more, for turkey tail, for instance, is if you are looking to address some kind of specific indication. So you have some kind of specific problem, indication, challenge, diagnosis, whatever it is you're calling it, that you really want to address something. You would then look at the literature and see what it supports in up to that maximum acceptable dose. So, of course, there are people out there that are going to take up to 27,000 milligrams of turkey tail, for instance, because they're really looking to support something specific. So
Mhm.
let's look at the blends, because I think this is where it's so much fun, because you get multiple mushrooms now in one serving. Who wants to take just one mushroom? It wasn't us. I wanted to take lion's mane and cordyceps and turkey tail, and there was born the 3-mushroom blend, once called the Awaken blend. So if we look at that, the 3-mushroom blend is going to offer you over 9,000 milligrams QCE in a half a teaspoon. So we don't have to take very much. I put that into my smoothie, and I've got more than a therapeutic dose combined, but it's 3 mushrooms in there. So we have to think how much of each one, and we'll get to that. In the 4-mushroom blend, you're also getting 9,750 milligrams QCE in a half a teaspoon. And in our 5-mushroom blend, you're getting 9,750 milligrams in a half a teaspoon.
Mhm. Okay, so let's look at each of the functional mushrooms that are within each of the blends. So within the 3-mushroom blend and 4-mushroom blend, each of the mushrooms within there are divided equally. So a half teaspoon is the dosing for our blends, and a half teaspoon delivers about 1,000 milligrams. So in 3-mushroom blend, you're getting a third, a third, a third in a half teaspoon of cordyceps, lion's mane, and turkey tail, the mushrooms that are within the 3 MB. So the 4-mushroom blend, same thing. You're getting 250 milligrams of all 4 of those functional mushrooms that are within the 4-mushroom blend. And then the 5-mushroom blend, that's where it's different, because all 5 of those mushrooms are not equal amounts. So you have 250 milligrams of cordyceps, reishi, and maitake, and then 125 milligrams of lion's mane and tremolo that are in the 5-mushroom blend. So when we look at quantity crude equivalent, okay, those were the amounts that are taking up space within there and the weight of the functional mushrooms, how they were divided. But what's that therapeutic dose in each of those blends? So in the 3-mushroom blend, the biggest thing to keep in mind is that you're getting as close to, if not just slightly over, that 3,000 milligrams therapeutic dose for each of those mushrooms. Then with the 4-mushroom blend, because you're adding another mushroom, it's just slightly lower than that 3,000 milligram therapeutic dose. And then same with the 5-mushroom blend, you're getting a little bit lower of a dose for each of those functional mushrooms. But this is where it's really fun, where you can add in each of the capsules if you wanted a higher therapeutic dose, where you can get a higher number because of the daily max acceptable dose from Health Canada for each individual functional mushroom. So let's take into account a stacking example. Let's say you want to take the 3-mushroom blend. You like to put it in your coffee. So within the 3-mushroom blend, you're getting 2,666 milligrams quantity crude equivalent of cordyceps and lion's mane, and then you're getting 4,000 milligrams QCE of turkey tail. But let's say for you, based on your symptom, your condition, your challenge, etc., you want to get more of that turkey tail in your day. Well, Health Canada's max acceptable dose is 27,000 milligrams QCE. So with a half teaspoon of the 3 MB in your coffee, you're getting a dose of 4,000 milligrams QCE. So let's say you add in 1 capsule of our turkey tail. So 1 capsule gives you 6,000 milligrams QCE of turkey tail. So total, with a half teaspoon of the 3 MB in your coffee and 1 turkey tail capsule, you're getting 10,000 milligrams QCE of turkey tail.
Yeah. And it's the best example to use turkey tail at that, with that huge max. If you're getting 10,000 milligrams QCE between what you put in your coffee or your smoothie or your matcha and 1 capsule, you have lots of room, right? So since the
Mhm.
turkey tail capsule is giving you 6,000 milligrams, you could safely add up to 3 capsules and still be well within the limit for that mushroom. It would be different if you were taking your 3-mushroom blend in the morning in a smoothie and now you want to take chaga. you're only ever going to add one chaga capsule because that would be the max. So this is where you need to really understand each mushroom is unique, just like each person is unique. They have different benefits. They have different medicine within them, different beneficial compounds. So knowing that max dose can really help you there. But remember, you don't need to take that max. 3,000 milligrams of any mushroom is already therapeutic. And I want to remind you of why we started this company. Way back when, my less healthy self read a study about lion's mane when I was so focused on healing my brain. And what I had seen on an MRI was not going to be future me. And lion's mane was going to help me. I was so sure. And when I read a study that had women in it and they were taking lion's mane, and in the study they told me that those women, to get cognitive benefits, were taking over 3,000 milligrams per day. I ran to the bottle of lion's mane I was taking to discover I was taking 500 milligrams in a day and realized no wonder I'm not feeling any different yet. I'm not taking enough. Not only was I not taking enough, the product that I was taking was a mycelium on grain product, which we'll get to, and actually didn't have any mushrooms in it. It had myceliated brown rice and it had lion's mane mycelium, which was not in the study I was reading. So those women who had those incredible results, they knew something I didn't. They knew something about the dose and the quality of what they were consuming. And that's hopefully what we're going to get through to you here.
And that's why 500 milligrams of a weak extract or a low dose extract won't actually do much. It's not that lion's mane or functional mushrooms in general don't work. It's that the dose wasn't anywhere near therapeutic. And this is where you've heard us talk about pixie dusting.
Yeah.
But pricing. Let's get into my favorite part
Yeah.
because this totally shocks people. And I think it's
Yeah.
important to go through the pricing breakdown. So let's say we have two different products that we're comparing. We have product A and product B. So I'm going to list some details for each and we're going to do the comparison and break it down very simply. So product A is $39 for 60 capsules versus product B, $49 for 60 capsules. So off the start, it's $10 more. Okay, let's see what's in it. Product A, each capsule contains 500 milligrams. Product B, each capsule contains 250 milligrams. So off the top of our head, we're thinking, okay, product B is $10 more and half the amount in the capsule. But product A is a 2-to-1 extract, whereas product B is a 15-to-1 extract. So there's a big difference there. So let's calculate the quantity crude equivalent. Product A, 500 milligrams, so per capsule, times 2, which is the first number in the extraction ratio, gives you 1,000 milligrams QCE per capsule. Product B, 250 milligrams per capsule, times 15, the first number in the extraction ratio, gives you 3,750 milligrams quantity crude equivalent per capsule. So we have 1,000 milligrams QCE versus just under 4,000 milligrams QCE. So there's a big difference, and it's going to be hard for us to compare price if we're not comparing apples to apples. So let's say we need to take an equivalent dose and then compare the price there. So product A, if 1,000 milligrams QCE is in one capsule, let's say we're going to take 4 capsules to get a therapeutic dose of 4,000 milligrams QCE. Product B, you're getting 3,750 milligrams QCE, but in one capsule. Now let's break down the price. Product A, it was $39 for 60 capsules within that bottle. So 39 divided by 60 gives you 65 cents per capsule. Now product B, it was $49 for 60 capsules in the bottle, but 49 divided by 60 is 82 cents per capsule. So we're thinking, okay, it's already more expensive. But remember, that 65 cents per capsule in product A, that was only for one capsule. So if we're taking 4 capsules to get a similar therapeutic dose at 65 cents per capsule, that's $2.60 for 4,000 milligrams QCE versus product B is 82 cents for just under 4,000 milligrams QCE. So $2.60 versus 82 cents. So it might feel like it's nominal, but product A is over 3 times more expensive for a therapeutic dose. Now let's put it all together. So product A, $39 is actually 15 doses because we have 60 capsules within the bottle and we're going to take 4 capsules per dose. So each time you're going to take product A, you're going to take 4 capsules. So 60 divided by 4 is 15. So for product A, you're getting $39 for 15 doses versus product B, $49 for 60 doses. Now let's compare the actual dollar amount. So we would need to take 4 of those bottles to get the same amount of doses. So $39 multiplied by 4 is $156. So for 60 doses of product A is $156 versus for product B, 60 doses is $49.
So, product X, in this case, product A looks cheaper on the shelf, but once you do the math, it is so much more expensive for you to get that dose and so much more inconvenient to have to be taking those 4 capsules every day, and you're going to run out, right? There's only 15 doses in there. So you actually have to go and buy 4 bottles of it or go back to the store 3 more times when you're finished the first one in order to get what you already would have had at home if you just bought the higher quality product in the first place, the one that has the concentrated extract at the therapeutic dose, and it's probably also organic certified. I'm just saying. So this is why the cheaper bottle is rarely the better value. And I just want to make a comment about mycelium on grain products because Dr. Desiree, you were being very generous there with your previous example that compared an extract to an extract. And they both showed the extraction ratio. You had a 2-to-1 and a 15-to-1, which means that company is at least being transparent about what's inside. But what happens when we come across these products on the market that are mycelium on grain products? They're not actually using the fruiting body of the mushroom. They are taking a grain. For many of them, it's rice, but all kinds of sorghum and millet and rye seed and all kinds of things are being used to grow out the root structure of a mushroom, mycelium, on that grain. So when we find products like this, science now tells us in good research that 90% of what's in that capsule can be the substrate, the grain that was used to grow it on, leaving only 10% as the mycelium. So if we look at that same comparison, let's call it product C this time, is a mycelium on grain product with 500 milligrams in the capsule. If only 10% of what's in that capsule is actually mycelium, with medicinal benefits, and don't get me wrong, mycelium is incredible. But if you're only getting 10%, that's 50 milligrams of actual beneficial product in there. And then you're going to need to take all 60 of those capsules to get to 3,000 milligrams therapeutic dose because 50 milligrams times 60 is 3,000 milligrams. So if I'm going to take a mycelium on grain lion's mane product with 500 milligrams in a capsule, I'm going to take the whole bottle versus taking 1 capsule of a good quality 8-to-1 fruiting body extract. That, to me, is why we started our company. That makes my blood boil. Nobody is going to take the whole bottle in order to be in line with the good research. So then, how do we compare? On our website now, we have actually put comparison charts right up on each product page. If you just scroll down a little bit, you're able to actually see us take real live products that are available on the market today and give you a head-to-head comparison so that you can make the decision, right? You're investing your time, your effort, and your money to put something in your body because you're looking for a benefit. So we thought the more transparent we can be to tell you what you're getting can help you make a good, educated decision. So on the screen, we're showing you a comparison of our lion's mane product. So the first thing you want to look at is what are you actually getting? Are you getting an extract? Is it a mycelium on grain product? Are you buying a gummy? Or are you buying an alcohol-based tincture? All of these are widely available in the mushroom market today. Our lion's mane product is an extract, but there's something special about it. It's a dual extract. So that means it's been extracted with both water and alcohol in order to get the water-soluble compounds and the alcohol-soluble compounds out, because there's research showing that they both have benefits, and we're after both of those benefits. Specifically for lion's mane, we want the terpenes because we know inside are things that can pass the blood-brain barrier, and we're looking at our lion's mane product as something beneficial for the brain. So if we have a dual extract, and then you can look down at this chart, the quantity crude equivalent in one of our capsules is 4,000 milligrams. Right beside it on the shelf might be an 8-to-1 extract of another product. Great, it's an extract, it's probably fruiting body only, it might be organic certified, but if it doesn't say dual, then it doesn't have any terpenes in it. The molecules in it will not cross the blood-brain barrier. It's going to be great for your gut. It's going to be good for so many other things for your immune system, but we're not looking at a brain benefiting product here because it's not a dual extract in this case. And if we look down at an 8-to-1 extract in comparison, you are going to have about 1,500 milligrams quantity crude equivalent per capsule, close to that. Okay. If we look at the cost comparison between the two of those, you're going to have to take one capsule of our product to get to that therapeutic dose. You're getting more than that 4,000 milligrams, but you're going to have to actually take 3 capsules of the 8-to-1 extract to get the same benefit, the same dose as what you would get in one of ours. And that product on the shelf, the comparison of cost when we figured it out, meant you're going to spend $5 USD in order to get what would cost you 83 cents for ours. Same. If we move down, it just gets worse from there. So 83 cents for one of our capsules to get a therapeutic dose. When you move to a mycelium on grain, you're going to have to take 8 of those capsules to compare to one of ours, and it's going to cost you over $7 a dose. When you move to a plant-based gummy, which lots of these on the market, you're not getting a dual extract in those. You are definitely not going to see fungal beta-glucans listed, which tells you don't even know how much actual medicine is in there. You are going to be getting lots of things you don't want. Often there's going to be sugars, sugar alcohols, flavors, waxes in many of these products that most of us don't want to include. So it's not just what you aren't getting. Sometimes it's what you are getting in there that you have to think, do I want to put that in my body? In a gummy, the one that we looked at, the product we looked at, had a 1,050 milligram quantity crude equivalent of lion's mane mushroom per gummy. And that means you're going to have to take 4 of those gummies to be equivalent to one of our capsules. And that's going to cost you $2.88 for a dose versus our 83 cents. But nothing is more offensive to me than the tinctures.
Yeah.
So you have to realize when you take a tincture of something, you are receiving it in a carrier. There's going to be some type of liquid in there that the medicine is floating inside of. Essentially, our product, we've evaporated off all of the liquid and you have the medicine left, and this is the opposite. You've taken our capsule, you've put it in a glass jar, and you've added a whole bunch of liquid, in this case alcohol, to it to dilute it. So ours are concentrated, tinctures are highly diluted. And in this case, a dropper, so that's how they're measured in a tincture, is going to give you 200 milligrams quantity crude equivalent per dropper. Remember, ours was 4,000 milligrams quantity crude equivalent, which means you're going to need 20 droppers full in order to get yourself a therapeutic dose. And that's going to be a good amount of that bottle by the time you take 20 droppers worth. And the saddest part is that is going to cost you over $9 USD per dose, over $9 per dose of the tincture to get the same medicine that you could get in one of our capsules for 83 cents. I don't understand why people would choose the tincture, would choose the gummy, would choose the mycelium on grain if they're actually somebody looking for the benefits of the mushrooms that, again, are shown in thousands upon thousands of studies available publicly on PubMed today. And if you don't want to look that far, there are thousands of 5-star reviews on our products that are not written by us, that are customers that have taken the product, experienced something, and want to share it. So if you are looking for lion's mane, have a look at this chart and see if it makes sense to you. Dr. Des, do you want to share a different one?
Yeah, let's do turkey tail. So our turkey tail is a 12-to-1 extract, and we're going to compare it to an 8-to-1 extract on the market, a mycelium on grain product, plant-based gummies, and then glycerin-based tinctures. So in one capsule of our turkey tail, you're receiving 6,000 milligrams quantity crude equivalent, which, same thing, is 83 cents per capsule. So if you were to take an 8-to-1 extract of a different brand, you would be getting 12,000 milligrams quantity crude equivalent. So you would need 5 capsules to take close to that same amount of 6,000 milligrams QCE. That's just over $3 per dose. Okay, so that's a big jump. Then with a mycelium on grain product, where there's 500 milligrams per capsule, you would need to take 12 capsules to get equivalent to 6,000 milligrams QCE. I don't know about you, but I don't take 12 capsules at a time
Nope.
in
No thanks.
combination with any and all of the supplements. That's wild. So that is over $8. It's $8.76 per therapeutic dose of a mycelium ungrained product. I can't imagine spending that and downing 12 capsules. Then we go into the plant-based gummies. So this one that we compared was 1,300 milligrams QCE per gummy. And then like Brandi mentioned, there are a bunch of other things within the gummies, like gums. And typically I see that a lot in clinical practice where that actually bothers a lot of people's digestive system and they have a lot of, upset tummy, they will say, or my stomach just doesn't feel good. So you would need to take 5 gummies to be equivalent to that 6,000 milligrams QCE. So that's $3.35 per dose, per therapeutic dose. And then the glycerin-based tincture, same thing, 200 milligrams per dropper, but you would need to take 30 droppers to get equivalent to 6,000 milligrams QCE. And that's $14.10 per dose. That's a
Which just begs
lot of liquid.
That's a lot of liquid, and it begs the dose why? Why do people do it? And I've thought about this. I mean, Eversio is almost 6 years old, and I've been thinking about this for almost 6 years. Why do people do it? And I think they do it because they think it's fun. And I get that. I get it's fun to put the dropper and count out the drops and do the thing. And there are some tinctures that aren't mushroom product where it is great. It's a great thing to do. There are so many other herbal extracts where it does make sense, but mushrooms are in a world of their own, right? Tinctures and the kingdom fungi are not friends. So if you want to have fun with tinctures, just don't do it with mushrooms. Do it in another place. And are you getting well because you think it's fun, or are you taking your wellness seriously and it's not a place that you're looking to as the source for your fun, right? Have fun with your food, have fun with your workouts, have fun with being in nature. But fungi aren't meant to be, this is a gummy and it's super fun and exciting and tastes like watermelon. I take my fungi seriously because I take my health and wellness seriously. So I thank you for sharing that. And it's there on the website for each of our products. And I hope that you will share it with others if it has meant something to you when we lay it out for you that way. So just to go back and repeat or to summarize, if you want to find a simple way, so we'll give you a simple 4-step formula that we're always teaching all day long of how you can compare a product. For one, you're going to find the extraction ratio on the slide we're showing you. Sometimes it's a 2-to-1, it's a 4-to-1, it's an 8-to-1, it's a 6-to-1, all the way up to a 15-to-1. Do not look at anything that's more than a 15 or a 16-to-1 extract. They're just being silly. There is no need for a 100-to-1 extract. There's no benefit beyond getting to that 15 or 16-to-1 extraction. Then you're going to multiply that by the milligrams. So if it's a 2-to-1 extract, you're going to times it by the milligrams in the capsule, in this case 500 milligrams. So you're going to get 2 times 500 is 1,000 milligrams. And then you're going to divide the price by the number of capsules, and then you can do a quick comparison of the cost per quantity crude equivalent gram. And I want to remind you how big a deal that can be. When Dr. Desiree was explaining product A to product B, I just want to go back and remind you that in product A, where you had the 2-to-1 extract and 500 milligrams a capsule, you were going to pay $156 for 60 doses versus just buying a higher potency product, a 15-to-1 extract. Yes, there's less in the capsule. There doesn't need to be more. 250 milligrams of a 15-to-1 extract is going to give you 60 doses for $49. So you're getting almost 3 times the savings by just buying it once. Don't even get me started about the sustainability difference here. In that one jar, if it's a glass jar with a metal lid, I am only buying that one time versus having to go back and buy 3 plastic bottles that had to be created because we didn't want to spend the money in the first place. So you really have to think about the quality of what you're getting and that dose and it actually being therapeutic in the first place.
And once you know that, you can compare anything on the market. And I personally, as a consumer, I find that to be very empowering. And you will really be able to see immediately which products are actually worth it.
Yeah.
So moving on to some really quick Q&As that are the most common question we've had from people is, Is more always better?
No. Once you're in that therapeutic zone, it doesn't matter, right? After that, you're just spending more money without the benefit. You're just spending money to spend money. So just look for that therapeutic dose and you don't need to go beyond.
Okay. And can you combine mushrooms?
Yes, yes. Just check the quantity crude equivalent per species. And that's available on our website in a beautiful blog that was written very collaboratively. Lori, who answers all of your questions in our Eversio community, along with some science. So we have naturopathic doctors. Veronica's our brand manager, and she got in there to create a blog that we hope is very easy to read, lays things out. There's color coding in there, friends. You can go and check anytime. It's also in an FAQ on our website about how much Health Canada says is the maximum dose. So you can combine them all day long. You could take all of our capsules, one of every capsule, and you'll be getting a therapeutic dose of each one, and you will be well within what the maximum acceptable dose is. When you start adding blends in there, come back and look at the examples we gave you here, or go to that blog, and there's lots of examples there too.
Okay, what if the product doesn't actually list the QCE?
Well, you have huge transparency issues there. Personally, if it doesn't list a quantity crude equivalent, it's probably because it's not an extract to begin with. That mushroom has not been extracted. You've either got a mycelium on grain product, and when products in the mushroom industry are not extracted, we are not those benefits are not bioavailable to us. The extraction process is what makes the beneficial compounds bioavailable to our body. So if it hasn't been through an extraction process, there's no need for them to put a quantity crude equivalent, and then just don't buy that product. If it says it's an extract, but you don't see a QCE, you've got a transparency issue. And to me, that's everything. I just wouldn't buy it. You can always reach out to a company and ask for a COA, a certificate of analysis. We just did this for a different product that we take, and the company did send us the COA, and we're going to buy that product now that we've done our research. If they won't send it to you, don't buy it. Transparency is everything.
Okay. And how many capsules should I take?
Well, in our products, we formulated so that you can take one or two and you're good. And if it's another high quality brand out there that you're taking, and if you've looked through all of these factors to calculate, one or two should be enough. You should never have to take more than 2 of a capsule, especially if you're using it preventatively to get a therapeutic dose. So 1 or 2 capsules, that should be all you need.
Cool. Okay, everyone. Well, we hope that this episode finally made mushroom math make sense and gave you the clarity that you deserve when choosing functional mushrooms.
Yeah, and if it helped you, please share it with someone who's been struggling to understand the dosing, or understand the price point, or understand what's actually in that capsule and why they might look different than other ones you've had. Or share it with somebody who said to you that they think mushrooms don't work. Because we know that they do. And we want everybody to be able to feel how great we feel. And we feel this way because we're taking a therapeutic dose.
Thanks, everyone. Be well. We'll see you next time.
See you in the next episode, everyone.